chat functionality. Okay, I need that. There we go. Okay. Good morning, Shay. How are you? No, I'm usually up at this time on Saturday. I've actually been up for a while now. So this isn't even early for me. I try and go on every morning at 8:30 my time, or as close to 8:30 as possible. But I was up at like 4 a.m. this morning. I woke up because my body was doing some weird stuff. I was in a lot of pain. I had chili pepper flake last night. I don't think I can eat that anymore. So that woke me up, and then I went back to bed, and I got up about a little bit later because of that, at about 7 o'clock this morning, which is, I think, a little late for me. I'm just sharing out to groups, guys. Give me one moment. I can't really read the comments and share to groups, or else I screw up and I double share to groups and make a mess of things. So I'm trying to focus my attention on this right now. But I'll be with you guys in just 1 minute. Hey, Linda Break Latal, how are you? Maybe not the best venue to ask me now. Ask, but how much a reading and how do you go about doing it? A reading, card reading for an hour over the phone or Facebook video is $50. Um, and that can be on any subject that you want. And that's done via Facebook video. Either I call you through Facebook Messenger, we can do it over the phone, we can just speak, we don't have to have video. Um, if you want video, or if that makes you feel closer to me, you certainly can have video. We can do it over FaceTime, we can do it over just a general phone call too. I do it that way. Good morning, Kelly. Good morning, Cindy Waite. Good morning, Jamie Taylor. So that's how that works. Charm readings are normally a little bit more expensive than what I do on the public charmings. When I do the charmings online where everybody gets to watch, it's only $25 for a charm reading. I do those privately also, but the only thing is that my camera setup is not great. So for me, it's a little bit more complicated and it's a little bit more expensive for the privacy of it. But that's available to you too. And those are 30 for like about a half an hour. However long the charming takes, so to speak. So I don't know if I shared that already there. Now I'm getting sidetracked. Hold on 1 second, guys. Let me finish doing this list so that I don't double share to groups, because that gets admins upset. And I don't want no upset admins. As my brother Paul would say, no, I ain't going in that water. What are you doing, Svenny? Why are you in here? Oh, that's not right. What am I doing? That's weird, that auto text. Give me 1 second, guys. I just got a few more groups to share to, and then I can read your comments. And just so you know too, Linda, the video or the reading is payable via PayPal So you would send me the money, and then we would pick a date and time, adjusting for time zones and all that that works for both of us. It's a pretty simple process, to be honest. It sounds more complicated than it actually is, I think, as long as you have a PayPal account. Oh, hi, Sven. Great. Let's add you to this mix right now. That will be great. Oh, hi, Svenny. Don't step on the keyboard, please. Svenny, what are you doing? Ding dong. Don't step on the keyboard, please. You're not a secretary. You're not my admin assistant either. If I could get you to learn how to share it to groups and tap all the right stuff, I would put you to work, bud. All right, I think that's everybody. I hope that's everybody. If it's not, well, then they'll have to seek me out. Hi, Marie Fraser. How are you? Good morning. Good morning from Scotland, Marie. Right on. Thank you for the share. I appreciate that. Hey, Jamie. How are you? Jamie Di Pasquale. Yeah, so that's how that works. Good morning, Ducky. How are you? Ducky's my only YouTuber right now. So today is the morning forecast. I do these every day. This is Saturday. We're ending out our week. I was thinking about it last night while I was laying in bed. Sven, are you going to be obnoxious? Because I really don't have time to love you right this very minute. He's going to be obnoxious. So I was thinking about it, and the end of this week on Sunday's reading, right? If we go back to the beginning of this week, we ended with that beautiful Ace of Pentacles energy. And to me, I've been talking about this sort of feeling that I had about this week, about sort of it being very, we may not feel like we're doing a whole lot, but we're actually subtly making changes that in the sort of depth and quiet of winter have more long-lasting effects, or that's sort of the sense that I'm getting from all of the cards as they unfold. There's been some really beautiful, peaceful sort of cards in the way that the readings are coming together, but the work this week feels very significant to me. I can't explain it any other way, but that's what I'm sort of feeling, right? And so as I'm feeling that, I was thinking last night about it, and it brought me back. I was laying in bed, and it brought me back to that Ace of Pentacles energy that should be sort of like now, right? Which should be that's the underpinning energy for this Saturday. We're going to start a new week tomorrow, right? So I was thinking about that, and all of these cards that have led us up to today, sort of that Ace of Pentacles, I just kind of want to visit with it for a minute before we get to the breathing, is about sort of where we want to be in the world, and maybe reconfiguring that, re-looking at that, and sort of re-expanding that idea. That's the Ace energy, is that sort of expansion or creativity of new ideas of where we want to be. This is the opportunity. This week was the opportunity. It may continue into next week. I don't know. We'll see with tomorrow's reading. But it really sort of feels like this is the opportunity during this time in the first month of the year for us to really be looking at that long term. Can you not swat at me? Seriously, Kenneth. Like, now is not the time. He really thinks it's his world. He has no idea. Like today I woke up and he was in the pantry closet, like trying to get tennis balls out of the bag. There's like 3 tennis balls all over the floor of the house, and he's trying to get the ones that are up on the 4th shelf in the closet. And he looked at me like, oh, hi. Like, I'm supposed to be up here, didn't you know? So, yeah, so that's the thing. And I was thinking about that card, and it sort of feels to me like even though there might be sort of subtle things going on, or the energy might feel low to us right now, it's okay. We're still creating in this sort of quiet winter energy, right? I mean, animals hibernate. The trees lose their leaves. The flowers, don't bloom. They go dormant. Everything goes dormant, but that doesn't mean that the energy ceases to exist, right? And we need to be mindful of that. And I almost think that sometimes this more peaceful, quieter energy can be just as powerful, if not more powerful, than, say, the energy of spring or summer, where we're feeling revitalized and hyped up. And, does that make sense, guys? And so take this time to really reflect upon what it is you maybe want to bring in this year. Take this month, the rest of this month, to really kind of expand your horizons and your thoughts about what it is you want to create and how much you deserve it, right? Get comfortable with that idea today, or this week, or this month, or this year even, right? I kind of feel like that's what that Ace of Pentacles was trying to say to us, and that's where we're arriving at by today's reading. So without putting too much on today's reading, let's get into the breath work. Good morning, Jen Nichols. How are you? Good morning, Barassi. Good morning, Leslie West. Good morning. I said good morning to Kelly. Good morning, Kristen. How are you, Kristen Nicole Wilson? So, Shay, it does feel low. And Shay, for those of you that can't see Shay's comment, she says the energy does feel low. I thought it was just me off balance. No, this is about the natural cycles. I think personally, I mean, I could certainly look at myself and feel like, oh, I feel sluggish, I feel this, I feel that. But I really think that this is a time where the planet sort of retreats into itself. Nature actually shows us what we should be doing, which is lowering our vibration to a degree, getting more internal, going deeper within, to having the conversations with ourselves, setting up sort of the parameters for maybe our intentions for, like I said, the month, the year, the decade. We can look at those things. Now, will those parameters change? Of course. They're supposed to. Energy flows and sort of, to me, stays. If energy is stagnant, it's not, it's dead, right? Energy is ever changing, right? The environment around us is always constantly in sort of flux and change, whether it's pulling back in the winter and receding and kind of going inward, or when it's springing forward in the spring and blooming, and nature's coming about and animals are having their way with each other and making babies, and we're all sensitive to that. So, but I do think that this winter energy is a really powerful energy. Or this time during winter, it can be subtle. I can feel lower vibration, but it can also, we can bring about a peace during it. We can bring about a comfortability in our own skin and start to reflect upon what it is we want that will make us even more comfortable in our skin in the year to come. And so that's sort of that Ace of Pentacles energy that I was seeing in that card on Sunday. So I just wanted to acknowledge that because it crossed my mind and pulled my attention. So I think for some of you who have been paying attention throughout the week, you need to hear that. I don't know who that is, or but I just want to state that for you guys. So let's get into our 3 breaths. This is the breath work that we do here. This is just to open a conversation with ourselves at 3 different levels: at the mind, at the body, at the mind, and then at the spirit level. So let's try and bring ourselves into present moment right now. I like to touch my heart chakra, right? To just sort of remind myself that, oh, my body's here today. It is the 18th of January, 2020. It is Saturday, and my body's sitting right here in a chair with beautiful angel wings on it in front of a camera talking to you guys. So as I close my eyes, and you can join me in this if you would like, I like to close my eyes, and we're just going to take a deep breath in through our nose, deep into our belly, breathing in like sort of positive energy, right? New, fresh energy of the day. This is prana. This is our life-giving birthright, to breathe in this energy. This is our spirit drawing in that life that's all around us, right? So let's take in that first breath, and we're going to hold at the top of the breath. So breathe in with me through the nose, deep into the belly, and inhale, and hold. Begin to adjust your chakras. Trust your spirit that it will know what to do with your chakras. You don't have to figure anything out. And start to emanate that light from the heart chakra. This is your light. This is the light within. Say hello to it. And allow it to just spread out across your body, throughout your body. Release that breath. Letting go of anything that doesn't belong to you, doesn't serve you, that you no longer need. You don't have to figure out what it is that you no longer need. Just let it go. Your spirit will do the work for you. You just have to trust it, that it's there. We all have one. And there's vast amounts of knowledge attached to each and every one of our spirit, right? So let's give thanks to the body, the physical vehicle that we use to like sort of move ourselves through the world. There are athletes, dancers, people that are more in touch with that than, say, some of us that are more cerebral or more spiritual. But we want to acknowledge that part of ourselves, right? We want to give love, gratitude, healing, validation to the body that has brought us thus far, right? So say hello to that body. And as you do that, I like to picture a triangle or a pyramid in front of me, and I light up the corner of that triangle or the side of that pyramid that represents the body for me. To me, it's always the left side because I'm left-handed. My body likes to lead with my left, so I put that on the left side of my pyramid, but I light up that whole triangle of that 3-sided pyramid. For those of you that can't really visualize a pyramid in 3 dimensions, you can visualize just a triangle and lighting up a corner of that triangle. Now let's take in that second breath. Oh, I forgot. Drop your grounding words, guys. If you want to know what grounding is, you can search it. It is a way of just running energy down to the center of the planet to ground out anything that no longer serves you while we're doing this breath work. Just know that the energy that we don't need or no longer fits us, no longer is in alignment with us, is going down that grounding cord to be recycled. Let's take in that second breath. And hold. Allow for adjustments of the chakras and see that light emanate out to the outer edges of your body, all the way around you, to the tips of your fingers, the tips of your toes, the top of your head, the back of your head. Allow it to heal and validate and shine brightly all throughout your body. And let's release that breath. Again, letting go of anything that we no longer need. Sending it down our grounding cord or releasing it with the breath. Giving thanks to the mind for all of the work that it does for us. It contains the ego, it contains our thoughts, our worries, our fears, our joys, our happiness, being grateful and in gratitude to all of it, right? Being in sync with it, synchronizing ourselves with it, saying thank you for everything that you do for me, right? And also allowing the mind to have a break. Just saying thank you so much for all the work you do, but we can work together now. Seeing the mind side of the pyramid or that corner of your triangle light up, and seeing a line of energy or what connects those two corners of that triangle light up. If that's the base or wherever you've placed it on your triangle. We're starting to build that light that is us, right? And we're bringing that out into our body. We're acknowledging our mind, we're acknowledging our body, and we're bringing them into sort of synthesis, synchronization, appreciation, ease, and grace with one another. In support of one another, working together as a cohesive unit versus against one another. Let's take in that third breath and hold. Allow for any last minute adjustments of the chakras. Take that light out to the outer edges of your aura. Let it just spread easily all the way around you, 360 degrees. Healing your energetic field, the different layers of the auras, all your chakras filled with that light. Release that breath. Really letting go of any more tension, anything that's left over that we just want to release today before we start our day. And then seeing the third part of our triangle light up. This is the light of the spirit. And so we want to acknowledge the spirit or our soul. It is connected to our mind and our body. It is in support of our mind and our body, giving thanks to the spirit for all that it does for us, both known and unknown. Realizing that we come from this place that we maybe don't fully understand, myself included. I don't fully understand the totality of my spirit, right? But being open and in gratitude to it allows us to open that door to allow our spirit to sort of lead us and show us what it is it actually does know or what it is capable of. And there's some beautiful surprises in there, right? So let's acknowledge those and open up that communication with our spirit. Seeing those three lights in harmony with one another, in equality with one another, in balance with one another, right? At the three separate points of the triangle or the three separate sides of your pyramid, which is called a tetrahedron, a three-sided pyramid. All three of those sides should be lit up of that pyramid right now. And in the center of that pyramid or the center of that triangle, see a fourth light. This is the emotional body. This is our emotional self. Allow that light to shine very brightly in the center of that triangle. Remember, our emotions are not the enemy. Our emotions are the way that our body, our mind, and our spirit communicate not only with each other, but within our experience. So seeing that light up, and on my pyramid, I see the floor of the pyramid light up at that point, which is also another same shaped triangle. That's how you get a tetrahedron. So now I'm lit up on all sides of this beautiful pyramid. It can be all sides of the triangle. All of these pieces are connected. You can acknowledge all of them, be thankful and in gratitude to all of them. Choose a certain section or a certain light that may need a little extra attention today. Place it at the top of the pyramid and allow the other lights to sort of support it and be connected to it and in, support and balance with it. Just breathe here with all of that light around us. This is the light that's within us. It's strong, it's capable, it's beautiful. Others may not always acknowledge it or see it, but what's important here is that we acknowledge it and see it. that we give it validation and gratitude. And as we do that, we allow others to find their light and acknowledge and become in gratitude of their own light. But we also bring that light out into the world, and we add that vibration to our environment. And it does brighten our environment. Set this as your intention for the day, for the week, for the month, for the year, for the decade, to connect with this light within, to bring these components of self together in harmony and peace, to feel aligned with yourself versus working against yourself or struggling within yourself. We spend too much time doing that. We get too many signals from the outside world that this is where we're supposed to be, is with this constant struggle or desire for more, when really everything we need is within. Wow, I don't know where that came from, but that was really pretty, that statement. So I'm going to take a breath on that one. I need to be reminded of that, huh? Oh, thank you. Gratitude is a powerful, powerful, high vibrational energy. It may not feel like, zoom in on high vibes, but it really is a strong, steady, wonderful energy to be in. And being in gratitude of oneself is also extremely powerful and validating. Give that gift to yourself today. I place that triangle or that pyramid into all of my chakras. It is my own light. It comes from these places, right? It comes from the chakras. But I also sort of just put that visualization in all of my chakras, sort of connecting them together. And at this point, you can take one last breath if you'd like and open your eyes and join me. You can also stay with your eyes closed and stay in this place if it feels really good for you for a Saturday morning if you're not in any rush. You can stay there and listen to the forecast. So I'm going to start the forecast for you guys. Good morning, Nate. Good morning, Sherilyn. So I am going to... You saw the light of your chakras? Beautiful, Sherilyn. You guys can stay in this. I'm going to ask Spirit for the card that we need today for Saturday the 18th of 2020 for those that are watching live and anybody that may tune in at any point in time in the future. What do we need to know for our highest good? Oh, thank you, Linda. Thank you very much. We all are true spirits, right? And we're all learning along the way. So, the more I do this, the little bits and tidbits that trickle down, and I'm like, wait, where did that come from? And I believe that that's coming from maybe my own spirit. But my spirit is tapped into all of the same places that your spirits are, right? So I really believe that. I firmly believe that we all come from the same place, and we all return to that place when we go back out of body into spirit, right? There's a vast amount of love, wealth, knowledge, support there that we can tap into through connecting with ourselves at a deeper level. So that's what I attempt to do. And my life gets easier because of it, right? Do I fall off track? Do I start doubting myself? Do I become self-critical at times? Yes. Because we live in this three-dimensional world that sort of, runs that energy. And sometimes we pick up that energy and we start running it too because it's the societal norm. But we have to take these moments, even if it's 5 minutes every morning, and strengthen that muscle of connection to ourselves. We're less apt and susceptible to that, I don't want to label it neurotic, but to that energy of feeling self-doubt, worry, those sort of things. We start to understand that we are part of this universe, just as valid as every other part of it. Or at least that's my experience, what I've sort of been realizing. And when we allow ourselves to be a part of that and inequality with it, we sort of allow others, like the issues that we have with others or situations in our lives, we also allow those to be inequality. It all comes from, sort of one source in my mind. And and we're a part of that source. We can tap into it at any point in time when we choose to. Hey, Kim Kuchler, how are you? Good morning, Carolyn Hansen. I love your voice. It's soothing. Thank you. Everybody tells me I should be in radio. I think I sound super nasally. Okay, so let's see what we've got to end up this week. Good morning, Andrew. How are you? Thank you for the meme today. That's already been posted on my page. I thought that was funny that you sent me that because I totally posted that like maybe a few weeks ago. Okay, let's see what the card is for today. Ah, interesting. Okay, so I'm going to flip the camera so you guys can see the card today. Give me one moment. Reshuffle, exactly. No, it's actually a good card. It is the Page of Pentacles. Remember, I was talking about that Ace of Pentacles energy at the end of the week. And so it's interesting that we end off with this Page of Pentacles. Pages always come with the element of learning. There's always an enthusiasm, a grace, and an exuberance that come with pages in my mind. They're always in this state of learning, but they are part of the early court, right? As far as the court cards are concerned. They're, before the knight and before obviously the king and queen. So it's the beginning of a sort of, in my mind, the pages kind of feel like the first steps towards adulting in a certain aspect of our life, right? Or our consciousness. To me, with the Page of Pentacles, this taps back into that Ace of Pentacles energy I was talking about at the beginning of this forecast before we did the breath work. And I feel like we're back here at this Saturday with this sort of page saying to us, okay, now we're here. We've arrived at this idea of where do we want to be. Now we get to play in that energy. We get to have fun. We get to look at our growth. We get to let the sort of clouds drift behind us, right? We do have this open mind here. I love how she drew this, whoever the artist was for this deck. They drew this elephant with this open mind, right? And so the line doesn't finish here. So to me, it feels a little bit like that there might be a fog releasing from this elephant's mind. The eyes here are on the prize. I didn't necessarily see this the last time. I'm seeing it today, but what I'm feeling is that the elephant's eyes are on this pentacle, and he's holding it lovingly with care. This is really a time to nurture ourselves in where we want to be materially. Now, what I mean by that is material stuff has to do with career, work, relationships, family, home, anything that has to do with sort of the, touchable material world, right? It can deal with finances. The pentacles can represent coins or finance, obviously. But to me, this doesn't have to necessarily be just a financial gain or a learning that's going to take place, but it could be about a learning of how to have better relationships within our friendships or within our family, right? If that's something that we desire this year for ourselves. But what this is it's about opening our mind and releasing sort of the cloudiness, the doubt, the worry. There's a strength with this elephant, right? There's an exuberance, there's a youthfulness, there's a groundedness to this elephant. Elephants are very big creatures that are grounded very much to the earth, and they're also very connected. I feel like not only to themselves, but also to their loved ones around them. So to me, elephants are kind of pack animals that stay together their entire lifetime, barring that nothing, truly tragic happens to them during it. So to me, this is a beautiful representation of the Pentacles suit, because elephants to me are all about familial connections and relationships and traveling in our pack. So I feel like some of us might be focused on the building of money, but some of us might also be focused on the betterment of our sort of social interactions and our familial connections. He's holding this flower here that represents sort of beauty and growth. So the focus today should be on where can we grow, where do we want to grow, how do we want to grow, and how would that feel, and how beautiful would that be? Now this growth may appear delicate at first, because that's what I'm sort of looking at this flower as, and we might feel a little bit like I'm sort of getting a bull in a china shop energy with this elephant, but an elephant to me is not as clumsy as a bull. An elephant is strong and big and at times can be sort of ominous, but they're truly gentle creatures, right? So we need to remind ourselves that we have the skill set and the sort of awareness to be able to bring about this delicate growth or change in our life that we want at the material level. We may not know exactly how to do it. We may not feel that intrinsically fully,
because we have all of these clouds here that represent sort of, to me, self-doubt. But we're releasing that self-doubt. We're in the process of that. And that's the learning aspect of the page card. Allow yourself to learn about what it is, or set aside the doubt and learn how to operate in a world where you can be strong, grounded, and have your goals and your eye on the prize. You might feel a little bit, I don't know, clumsy or inept or not know exactly all the steps to the dance. That's the page aspect. This is about learning as we go, right? But we have the skill set, I feel like. We have uh, the the groundedness of the elephant. We have the sort of the strength of the elephant, the resolve of the elephant. We also have, and I always, when I see elephants, I think of the elephant never forgets, that phrase, right? We also have our memories and our experiences where we can utilize those memories and experiences, oh, excuse me, as as tools to help us to realize how capable and how far we've actually come. Our experiences have really molded us into the sort of place that we are today. We want to be in appreciation of them and acknowledge them from a place, even if they weren't experiences that were necessarily pleasant. We've survived them, and they have taught us in some way, shape, or form. They've made us smarter. We don't have to lead our lives with those experiences or assume that those experiences were what we deserved, right? They were just solely experiences so that they could bring us to this place. I know that's hard for some of you guys because I know that some of us have been through very hard experiences, and I'm not trying to negate the seriousness with which anybody has had to deal with life situations. But what I am saying is that at a certain point, we want to take the seriousness or the intensity of those, the emotions around those experiences, and kind of release them if we can, and choose to. I'm almost seeing, like in my mind's eye, I'm seeing us sort of like filing away the experience as knowledge from the past, acknowledging it, being grateful for it, but not letting it sort of lead our now. Does that make sense? I don't know if that is making sense to you guys, but that's sort of where I'm feeling this card is taking me today. So just be mindful of that. That's the strength of the elephant, is the elephant has the culmination of its experiences, but it doesn't necessarily, we're stronger than the experiences, maybe, right? It's just a reminder to me. And I love that we can be these big, strong, grounded creatures and handle this beautiful, delicate flower of growth that we want to bring about into our material world. Keep that in mind today. Keep that focused today. This is the beginning of the doors of that Ace of Pentacles energy that we saw, right? Being teachable, being enthusiastic, honoring ourselves, and reminding ourselves that we can do this. Okay, so we have, I am passionate. I put my entire heart into the people and things I believe in. My passion is a powerful force. It is an eternal fuel. I recognize the strength of my passion, and therefore I am careful where I choose to focus it. I am passionate. So where we put our focus today is definitely key and important. I love that the 3 planets, oops, my music just went down, 1 second. Man down. Okay, thanks, Beat Stereo. Calm down. All right. Excuse me, the battery just ran out on the speaker. So, I love that the planets are all lined up. We have our intuition, we have our light, and the energy of the sun. I'm not sure exactly what planet this is supposed to represent. Maybe this is the shadow self, but we've sort of lined it all up and we've acknowledged it for all the beauty that is there, right? And this is similar to what I was talking about with this elephant, and it sort of taking its experiences, its memories that it never forgets, and sort of putting them into a different position for us today, using them as tools, but not necessarily as like as our present time now, right? So I feel like that's what this lining up is, and acknowledging that passion. This card number is number 10, which then numerologically boils down to the 1, number 1, which to me is all about ourselves and keeping the focus on ourselves today and really acknowledging ourselves and our passions. Again, we have this cloud coverage, which I feel like is releasing away from this lined up set of planets. Things might be lining up for us, guys. I really sort of see that in these cards, and this sort of clouds mirrors these clouds that I see here that this elephant is kind of releasing from its mind or from its space, and kind of letting in the beauty of this new growth, acknowledging how strong our intentions are through our passions, through the feelings of what feels right and good. I love that this says, my passion is a powerful force. It is an eternal fuel. So we need to remember that and utilize that as we push forward into maybe the unknown, or feeling like we may not know all the steps to going about getting what we want, but we have to trust that our spirit will step in. Our mind can like sort of rise to the task, and so can the body, as long as the three are sort of working together in this sort of harmony that we see here in like these three planets here. Okay, let me go to the grounding stone. Excuse me. See what our final grounding stone for the week is. And this is just a thought or an idea that we want to ground in today as we go throughout the day. Thinking about our passions, thinking about what we want in our lives and how we want it. So this stone is a very heavy stone. It's blessed. I don't think we've seen this stone before. Maybe we have. But to me, I think that this is a beautiful stone to have for this morning, as we are acknowledging ourselves through the number 1 in this card, and the passions that we have within us, the desires that we have, the goals that we have, acknowledging them and realizing that we're blessed and that we deserve them, right? And that's sort of this, the youth of this page card here is like everything that we want in the world, if it feels right and good, we can kind of create it for ourselves. We need to realize that we're blessed and we deserve it, and allow ourselves that, right? And I love that this says, I am careful where I choose to focus it. That's part of this blessed energy too, is like, if we truly believe that we're deserving, if we truly believe that we, setting aside like more of our darker opinions of ourselves or our self-critical nature, right? Setting that aside, or maybe, how do I want to say this? Like, letting go of that shadow self, not letting go of it because we don't want to deny it, but sort of acknowledging it, but then not necessarily entertaining it, right? We allow in this sort of blessed feeling to come in, and it makes it easier for us to move forward in our learning and in our acknowledgement of what we deserve and where we should place our attentions, our passions, our emotions into whatever it is that we're creating, okay? I hope that makes sense, you guys. I hope that works for you. Kim Kuchler, this deck, which deck are you asking about? I have a few decks that I'm working with. This is the White Sage Tarot here, which I've absolutely sort of fallen in love with. It's a deck that I got off of Amazon. I never did an unboxing, which I should shoot an unboxing for this deck. I just opened it because I thought it was a good deck to start the year off with. Then this is the I Am Everything deck, which I do have an unboxing video on my YouTube channel of this deck. And I felt like these I am statements were beautiful statements to begin the year with, especially at the beginning of the new decade. So I decided to crack it out and get and use these. I was sort of guided to use these 2 decks for the month of January together to sort of build our momentum, build our affirmations, and remind ourselves of who we are as we enter into this new decade. So that was the reason why I chose this deck to come back around and play with us. I always have a tarot deck, and I try and have some sort of oracle card deck or something to kind of component that will add to it. And then the grounding stones are stones that I've acquired over the last few months that I bought on trips and things that I put into a bag that I pull from every day, just to give us, bring us back down to earth and ground us into an idea or thought that is positive, or hopefully gives us a focus for the day. So today is really a day to really acknowledge how blessed we are, how wonderful we are, how strong we are. And even if we don't necessarily fully feel like we know exactly the steps to go about taking today to create what it is we want, as long as we stay focused on it, we keep those passions, our awareness of those passions and the strength and beauty of them, we imbue that with that focus or that attention towards those passions, we really can be blessed and begin to create that energy, right? Or begin to create those things that we want in our life. Now, if we say, I'm just going to use this as an example. Sorry to be so long-winded this morning, but say some of us want like better relationships with our significant others, and we feel like our significant other isn't playing well with us, or not like responding in the way that we would like. We need to understand that Not everything is sort of in tune with our plan or in sync with our plan. The thing is are we going to allow ourselves the grace and ease to not get bunched up and confused by it and lose sight of our blessings and our passions and our energy and our, ability to create? Are we going to say, oh, you know what, my boyfriend didn't respond in the way I want, so I'm failing at this? No, we don't want to do that. There's something going on there vibrationally where he maybe is not in alignment to whatever it is you're trying to do. That's something you want to look at, right? I'm not saying you need to leave your boyfriend or your significant other, but what I'm saying is just because maybe the outside environment doesn't meet you in what it is that you think you need or are trying to create, does not necessarily mean that you do not deserve it. It does not necessarily mean that you cannot create it. It might mean that you might need to sort of step away or reconfigure or look at things and figure out whether or not you can gracefully let go of it, right? Is it a situation that's still providing you passion? Is it a situation that's still making you excited? Is it a situation that you truly, really want to continue to build and work with? Or are you just hanging out there? And I'm talking about this could fit any situation. This could be a romantic relationship. This could be a job. This could be, a friendship. Whatever it is that we're looking at, is it really still giving you what it maybe gave you a year ago, 6 years ago, however long ago it was? Sometimes those truths are hard to look at. Sometimes those truths can be scary to look at. And that's some of the learning that comes with this Page of Pentacles and the release of these clouds is, maybe asking ourselves some of those harder questions. So I just want to acknowledge that for you guys. I don't want you guys to think like, oh, he said everything's going to be fine and it's not working the way he said. Well, you know, sometimes things don't work out for a reason. I really believe that, right? Sometimes people fall in and out of vibrational harmony with each other for reasons, and if they can't meet you, it may be just exactly that, is that they can't meet you. So do we say that that's our fault or something is wrong with us? I mean, I certainly have done that in my life, right, guys? But this idea of acknowledging our passions, keeping the focus on us, and realizing we are blessed, looking for those blessings, that energy could also, culminate in us seeing areas where we maybe aren't blessed or things aren't working. And then it's for us to sort of go about taking the inventory to change that. Right? Does that make sense? I hope that makes sense. So, I'm going to turn the camera back to me. I hope that makes sense. I don't want you guys, I always think that sometimes I try and keep my readings with a positive outlook, right? And I know that, there's a lot of talk out there, especially in the metaphysical community, about energy and manifestation and this, that, and the other. I also know from personal experience that there's been times where I've tried to manifest stuff and I thought, oh, I really, really want this and this should happen, and it didn't necessarily happen. And then I'm like, oh shit, why did that not happen? Do I not deserve that, or is it my fault? And it's not that. I think that it's either A, I'm not in vibrational alignment to it, or it's just not meant for me. And that's okay. There's also been things that I've manifested where now I don't want them, and I'm like, I feel like I'm out of alignment with them, so I'm trying to let go of them and change them, and they're not letting go as quickly as I would like. And so I'm like, oh wait, am I doing something wrong? And so I only say that because I find myself second guessing myself, and that's not a place where I want to be. Where I want to be is in that harmony of that pyramid, and realizing that no matter what happens to me, it's all happening in kind of right timing, and trusting that. When I get into that vibration or that focus, that's when I realize how blessed I am. That's when I realize that I have the ability to learn, like this Page of Pentacles, right? I have the ability to acknowledge my passions and the things that I want, and then sort of either watch them unfold and happen and do the work step by step, or say, oh, maybe that's not what's right for me, and do that hopefully with grace, hopefully with ease, hopefully with, that, my phrase, let go or be dragged, right? We don't want to be dragged anymore. We've dragged ourselves to this point. And I'm grateful for all the dragging thus far. But, let's start 2020 without having to be dragging ourselves. Does that make sense? I don't know. Anyways, that's sort of where I'm going with this, for me personally. And I'll share that with you. I hope that works for you guys. Go out, be wonderful today, acknowledge your passions, know that you're blessed, know that you're creating, even in this quieter time of the winter energy. There is this beautiful sort of shift that happens, even though it is subtle. But if we stay focused on it, we actually, I really do believe that we kind of set ourselves up for even further, um, what's the word? Like, I don't want to say manifestation, but it's like a further strengthening of our positivity throughout the year if we can keep it, um, hopefully, uh, focused during this more quieter, energetically lower period of the year. Okay, we're sort of setting the tone for the rest of the year to come. That's how I feel. So, you dragon? Oh, I don't know what you guys are saying, but I mean dragging like there's a phrase, there's a Zen proverb that says let go or be dragged. And sometimes we hold on to things far too long that end up dragging us through all this emotional pain, strife, and upset that we don't necessarily need. And I do it myself, guys. I do it myself. And so it's like, do we have the grace and the fortitude and the belief in ourselves to let go? The belief in our spirits, the belief in our guides, the belief in our God, whoever that may be, whether it's religious or just spiritual, the belief in our connection to the universe. Do we believe in it enough to let go and just trust that we will be okay? And that's a challenge that I think every human being deals with. Every human being, myself included. So, all right, you guys, that is your forecast for today. Tune in tomorrow for Sunday's forecast. That will be not only Sunday's forecast, but it's always, there's a few extra cards that are pulled because it's like the underpinning energy of the week. So it will give us sort of the theme of what's going on. If you didn't look at last week's forecast, you can check it out either on the business page or on YouTube, just to see sort of what I was talking about today with that Ace of Pentacles energy. We are revisiting it with this page. We're beginning to open that door. So that's available to you. Check out any of the pick-a-cards and unboxings and whatever if you want to learn about some of the decks that I use. You can send me questions or comments. I appreciate every comment, share, like, subscribe, all of that. Please do all of that as I continue to hopefully build this channel. This is what I want to do as full-time work, guys. So, and I'm also available for private readings if you're interested. Follow me at Engelgeist333. My cat is back in the pantry. I can hear him knocking shit off the shelf onto the floor. I'm going to go kill him in a minute. But you can follow me on Instagram at Engelgeist333. And that's it. You guys have a great day. Know that you're blessed and enjoy the day. Enjoy this beautiful Saturday. Even some of you that might be a little bit colder than you would like. Enjoy it. And I will see you guys all tomorrow in the morning. All right. Bye-bye.